Hey everybody, and welcome to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio right here on ITMIRadio.com. Hope everybody's having a good week thus far. I am Kenny C. For those that's listening on ITMIRadio.com, we just finished off with the Web Bastard Sports Show. Jeff will be joining me momentarily. He had to take care of something, but he'll be here with me shortly. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got China on the news. We got the what else we got? We have WrestleMania first day ticket sale record. I'm gonna get to that momentarily. We're gonna recap Raw and SmackDown of last week. Recap Impact. There's a new champion once again. We also have our picks for the Turning Point pay-per-view coming up and some big news from TNA Wrestling. They have a brand new, well, not necessarily brand new. We have some news on TNA involving Ohio Valley Wrestling. Andrew, I'm sure you're familiar with that. So we'll get to all that momentarily. Oh, and an interview tonight with Diane Von Hoffman from Louisville, Kentucky, wrestling legend. She's been wrestling on the indie scene for 2 decades. She's going to retire by the end of the year. She's joining us at the bottom of the hour. So while I wait for Jeff to get on the phone line here, let's go ahead and get to some WrestleMania news. Because as you all know, tickets went on sale for WrestleMania this past Saturday morning. And at WWE.com, they revealed the first day ticket sales record. This was written by Katie Raymond of WWE.com. WWE announced that the first day ticket sales for WrestleMania 28 in Miami resulted in a record gross of $6.3 million, shattering the previous first day record of $4.8 million for the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. Tickets went on sale this past Saturday morning, November 5th for WrestleMania 28, which takes place on Sunday, April 1st, 2012 at the Sunlight Stadium in Miami, Florida. Main event will feature The Rock challenging John Cena in the most highly anticipated main eventer in sports entertainment history. Now, even though I'm a fan of both John Cena and The Rock, I wouldn't go too far. But it should be an intriguing main event. But as I continue with the story, the event will be broadcast on pay-per-view and viewed in more than 100 countries. John Saboul, who is the Senior Vice President of Special Events for WWE, went on to say, "We are thrilled that WrestleMania 28 has already made history in such dramatic fashion. Coming off the momentum of last year's record-breaking event in Atlanta, we fully anticipate that this year's WrestleMania in Miami will be our largest and most successful ever." That is from John Saboul, the vice president there. So far things are looking good. So far things are looking real good as far as the ticket sales. Now it's only a matter of time before the entire event is sold out. I mean, they do it every single year at WrestleMania, and this will be no different. Andrew in the chat room, Brownie Master, said that it is Bob Orton's birthday. So happy birthday to Cowboy Bob Orton, the father of current WWE superstar Randy Orton. And Fozzy is saying just got to say, being on Twitter and watch a video of WWE 12's Universe mode. It looks better than they added pay-per-view packages and other great stuff in the new Inside Ring video. Yeah, there's a lot of they debuted a new commercial for the WWE 12 video game featuring Randy Orton. It's coming out in a couple of weeks. Hey, I'm a fan of Cena, no doubt, Andrew, but I'm a fan of The Rock too. Those are my top two favorite wrestlers of all time right now, and they facing each other at WrestleMania next year. I'm just getting the word from Jeff via Skype that he is ready. So let me go ahead and add him to the Skype call. Jeff is about to join me momentarily, just long as just as he actually picks up the call. Jeff will be joining me momentarily, and while I wait for Jeff, um, let's go ahead and
Hey,
get.
this is Jeff. I'm sorry I wasn't here to take your call.
Okay, he says, okay, I'm ready. Call me. I call him, and his voice message pops up. As I like to quote Jeff, what is up with that? Let's try this again. He tells me he's ready to go. I pick up. There he is. Hey, Jeff.
What's up?
Good, man. Good, good. Um, Now we can go ahead and get to the WWE Raw update. Um, Andrew saying to follow up on an early report, it is being reported that the Wrestling Observer that Christian suffered a sprained ankle in yesterday's SmackDown house show in Belgium. Injury,
Good.
injury was serious enough that he was sent all the way back home. Uh, yeah. So he may. Now I believe he is scheduled to be in the Survivor Series match, Team Barrett versus Team Orton. But if this injury is serious, then he may not be competing at the Survivor Series. Uh, Here's a story I also want to mention. China was on the news recently. This past week, the former WWE diva was at the Howard Stern show, and she talked about her porn career and talked about the possibility of wanting to come back to the WWE. In the interview, China mentioned that she did send a letter to Vince McMahon on wanting to come back. She said that she did get a response letter from Vince saying, "I don't want to work with you at this particular time." Of course, China, well known, former Intercontinental Champion, former Women's Champion, first female to be in the King of the Ring tournament and Royal Rumble. I mean, she's done a lot for WWE.
She's really ugly naked. You know that, right?
Uh,
I've seen it. It's disgusting.
you actually seen her
Yeah.
pornography?
Yeah. Well, no. I've seen. Yeah. It's pretty gross, to tell you the truth.
She's been in Playboy before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's what you've seen.
No. I've seen her stuff. It's pretty disgusting. She is pretty disgusting in it. Not doing disgusting things. She just looks disgusting, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah. And let's see, Batista's confirmed he's going to be in the DLC video game. There's rumors that Macho Man Randy Savage may be in it, but don't get why Fozzy say I'm being owned at the moment. But please clarify, Fozzy. I want to know what's with the own part. Uh, so yeah, China. She says she wants to come back. Vince McMahon saying no, no, thank you. Let's not forget earlier this year she was on TNA and she was at a pay-per-view teaming up with Kurt Angle taking on the Jarretts, Jeff and Karen. After that, it looked like China was going to be there long term, but TNA found out about her porn career and said, no, you either stop doing porn or we're not going to sign you long term. She chose porn and stuck with it. So, and I can understand, it's business. You don't want someone, and especially WWE being rated PG and R, and a porn star at a PG show not going to work. Not more sex tapes. No. She ain't released no sex tape. She's just doing porn. And look, say what you want about China. She seems to be happy about it. So I'm not judging her or anything of that, whether she's beautiful or not. That's up for opinions. That's what she wants to do. She do what she wants. As long as she's happy, then people just have to go along with it. And at least in this instance, China has closure. She can move on with her career. WWE can go on. Vince McMahon could go on. People seem to forget that China was engaged to Triple H before things fell apart, and that Triple H ended up with Stephanie. You know, it's interesting people talk about other things about her WWE career, but forgotten that she was actually in a relationship with Triple H, and they were engaged once upon a time. So there you go on that one. On to other WWE stuff. Of course, WWE was televised first ever show in Liverpool, United Kingdom, or as a lot of us like to say, from across the pond.
Fozzy, did you go?
No, he did not.
Pussy.
A friend of his that went.
Big deal. Fozzy, you should have went with a big old sign. Triple Threat Wrestling loves WWE.
It must have been too far from him, so it is what it is.
It's been there before, and it's too far. If it was 5 hours away, you should have freaking went. When's the next time they're gonna be there, for Christ's sakes?
Well, they go to the UK a couple of times a year, so they'll be back in the United Kingdom at least next year. I mean, that's especially where they go for televised shows. I said because when you call Jeff, you got his answering machine. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
That's what happens when he doesn't see if I'm at the computer first.
Oh.
I had to run to the
you
bathroom.
Said you was,
I mean, Jesus, I was doing a show for him.
See, all I know is you said I'll be right back, and I didn't say anything. I saw it, so I just went along with the show. Then you said, I'm back, call me. Then I call you right away, and the voicemail thing pops up. So
I didn't see you answer me. I didn't see you call me. So I did not see the call.
Well, I did dial you in.
Big deal. No big deal. I'm here now.
I know. Right? So Zack Ryder, John Cena took on Awesome Truth, and it's Zack Ryder's first main event of his WWE career, believe it or not. Now, Awesome Truth did cheat their way to win. And, Zack Ryder's getting a push, obviously.
Yeah, what's up with that shit?
Hey, he's a popular guy. He's
popular in his own freaking mind.
Hey, he's got a strong fan base now. He's got a strong fan base. He's got the internet show. He's got the fan base. He's become a good guy now. And, he's trying to get a push for the United States Championship. And it was mentioned on Wall that Zack Ryder has a petition on Twitter to tell John Laurinaitis that he should get another shot of the United States Championship against Zack Ryder, who, by the way, lost to John Morrison, who was on a losing streak, and he has had pick up his first win since August. It must be a good time to end losing streaks. Daniel Bryan ended his losing streak a couple of weeks ago, and we'll get to Daniel Bryan in just a second. But he ended his losing streak, and John Morrison ended his losing streak. The way I see it, he's getting the push. He beating Dolph Ziggler the last time these two met, one-on-one or a tag team match. The way I see it, and it's going to be in his home state of New York Survivor Series. Go ahead and give the New Yorker his title match. And besides, it's time for a change in the United States title picture anyway. Dolph Ziggler is the longest running champion right now. He's been champion since May or June That's longer than any other current champion. And speaking of champions, despite Evan Bourne's suspension, it looks like Eric Boone's not going to be stripped of the titles despite the Evan Bourne being suspended. Kofi Kingston will be competing at Survivor Series, teaming up with Team Orton at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. So yeah, like I said, they're giving him a push. He's got the strong fan base. He can wrestle. He's got the personality, regardless of what you feel about him. And WWE's listening to their fans. They say, hey, he's the popular guy. You know, let him get a shot at at the main events and such. You know, get a title opportunity. So at least he can have a world championship. And no disrespect to Zack Ryder fans, but the internet championship doesn't count. It's not even sanctioned in the WWE.
Internet champion. Like a bunch of joke that is.
So yeah, he's gonna get the push. He's gonna get the title shot at Survivor Series. It's just a matter of Laurinaitis making that happen. So there you go. Also, Kelly, Maxim magazine front cover.
That was a hot issue, huh?
Yeah. She earlier in the summer she was in Maxim's 100 Hottest Woman of 2011, and now she's gonna be under the November or December cover of Maxim magazine. So it's been quite a year for Kelly. She's been in the WWE for half a decade now, and she's got a Divas Championship to her credit, and now she's got the publicity. Now you got the. I didn't think Kelly had the comedian in her, because you hear what she said about Natalia and you hear what Kelly said about Natalia and Beth Phoenix. You know, you interrupt me during my time. I don't interrupt you if you was on the cover of National Geographic. I thought that was hilarious. I didn't know Kelly had that in her. Bravo, Kelly. I did not know she had that in her whatsoever. On the SmackDown side last week, it's announced that the Big Show will get his rematch at the World Heavyweight Championship against Mark Henry at Survivor Series. That's all good and dandy. Y'all two have a good match, and do us a favor. Please try not to destroy the ring again. Please. Better yet, Big Show, I'm talking to you, Big Show. Do not try to go to the top rope. It just doesn't work.
Come on, I'd like to see that.
No, nobody wants to see the ring collapse again. That was funny that was crazy and funny the first two times. But we don't want to see it again. Okay, Big Show, a guy of his size is not meant to go to the top rope and try to be a Evan Bourne or be Justin Gabriel high flying maneuver. Your job is to beat people up and punch them in the mouth. Do not go to the top rope. I understand you're trying to do you're trying to get that pop from the fans. I get that, but don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. You too, Mark Henry. You know you can't do anything off the top rope neither. So please, for the love of God, stop it. Stop it. All right. And speaking of which, Daniel Bryan, Mr. I'm a good guy. Mr. I'm not going to take advantage of a situation. And speaking of which, everyone was talking about it. Why didn't Daniel Bryan cash it in at Vengeance after what happened with Big Show and Mark Henry? Because he wants to do it the right way. He wants to win it the right way, the proper way. He doesn't want to win when someone is down and out. However, and I will defend him on this because he was unconscious, and Big Show on SmackDown last week, he trying to put some water in his face, trying to convince him to cash it in, and it looked like he was going to, but then he got beat up by Mark Henry. And luckily for Daniel Bryan, the bell did not ring, so he still has that briefcase intact. And that pretty much led to the now rematch between Henry and Show at Survivor Series. So they got Cena and Rock versus Austin Truth. That's one. Team Morton versus Team Barrett. That's two. They have, I think it's going to be Eve versus Beth Phoenix. And then Zack Ryder versus Dolph Ziggler. And of course, Del Rio versus Punk. So he said he's going to do it at WrestleMania. So we'll see. We'll see if Daniel Bryan's different from everybody else, or he's just going to take the easy way out. It's not going to bother me either way, because it is his title opportunity, and he can do whatever he wants. He fought for it and he earned it. So he do whatever he want, cashing in whatever you feel like it. You know, the suspense, the surprise, I get that, but it's no longer a surprise when we seen it happen 7 or 8 times, and every time successfully. The champion has changed hands, the championship belt. So I'm gonna get to some other news here. John Cena's new movie, The Reunion, just came out of DVD and Blu-ray disc this past Monday. That's pretty much all you need to know about that. Stone Cold Steve Austin new DVD is about to come out by the end of the month. I think on the Monday before Thanksgiving, Tuesday before Thanksgiving. This will be his last DVD, WWE DVD. Michael Cole has confirmed that the Michael Cole Challenge may actually happen next Monday night when they come back to the United States. They come into Boston, as close to John Cena's hometown, and Jim Ross is going to be there. He's already confirmed on Twitter that he's going to be there this coming Monday, 3-hour edition of Monday Night Raw. And if Jim Ross wins the Michael Cole Challenge, he gets his old job back, and the unknown Kit Kat bar has to quit. Translation: he's probably going to take some time off. Either that, or he's really done with the WWE for good. You decide. You determine that. So yeah, it's gonna be a 3-hour edition of Monday Night Raw. The Rock will be there, and it's gonna be just 6 days before Survivor Series. So we'll make our picks for that next week. So we'll see what happens. Everyone's saying Daniel Bryan's going to cash in at WrestleMania. It'll be the first time in the history that it's done. You know, it's interesting that it started off as a WrestleMania type of match, and now it got a pay-per-view of his own. And our special guest is calling in 4 minutes early, Diane Von Hoffman. Let me go ahead and add her to the conference here, ladies and gentlemen. Guest of this time. And as I mentioned, called in 4 minutes early, and I do recognize the area code 502 because I used to be in that area code. We're joined with Diane Von Hoffman, joining us right now on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Good evening, Diane.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me. It's great having you on.
No problem.
And
thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for joining us. You are in Louisville, Kentucky, correct?
Correct.
Ah, perfect. Because
home of the wonderful University of Louisville Cardinals, the home of the Derby, the home of, how do we say it, fast women and pretty horses.
There you go.
Hey, Kenny, can I say something really quick?
Go ahead, Jeff.
That is one sexy voice you got there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's my co-host Jeff, and of course,
hi Jeff.
I'm Kenny.
Yes, Kenny.
So yeah, I used to live in Kentucky. I
recognize the area code too.
I lived in Lexington, and I lived in Frankfort. I've been there for probably 1/3 of my life. So good times there, and I miss it a lot. I currently live in Georgia, and to this day, I've been using this call-in number since 2008. So, uh, yeah, so that's
Well,
the
if it works for you, you do. It works for you.
yes, yeah, exactly. Now, Diane, I'm hearing that you're going to be retiring from wrestling at the end of the year. You've been wrestling for over 2 decades, and just last Thursday was the 4 year anniversary since the passing of Fabulous Moolah. What was that like, being with her back in the day?
Well, there's good and bad in everybody. Um, a lot of good times, a lot of hard times. Uh, Training, learning. We trained 3 times a day. Then I worked all night at a restaurant to make ends meet. I trained, with the best of the best. Went to Japan with Leilani. Um, but with Moolah was a totally different experience. We kind of called it the camp. We would go, we couldn't go out, couldn't be around men, so we would sneak out, or the prison as we called it. There's about 20 girls there at the time. The legends of the 80s, Joyce Grable, Judy Martin, Peggy Lee Leather, Wendy Richter, Vivian St. John, oh my gosh, Leilani, Candy, Malloy. I could keep naming them. B.J. Clark is another one that passed away, Betty Clark. Diamond Lil. It was a big group of us. And then the newer girls that came in with me. There's about 6 of us that came in at the same time.
All right. My friend Andrew, who's living in Lexington, he always does this to me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say he just wanted from the chat room. He wants to say hello.
Hello.
There you go, Andrew.
Thank you for listening.
Yes. So with your career winding down, do you have any final matches you have in the works? I know you're gonna be part of the Slamming Ladies shoot for the custom.
Correct. But I also doing that's the week of it's November 29th. 15 different girls. You can basically order a match that you would like, and it's basically like you're the director, whatever you want done, wrestling only, of course, will be done within, normal means of capability of the girls there, or some people can't do it, other people can. And then also, the 19th, I will be over in Charlestown, Indiana, at the Civic Center wrestling a new female Hispanic girl, Maria Mendoza. So I've never wrestled her, so it'll be the first time in the ring with her.
For more info on that, you can check out the website slammingladies.com. When you, the wrestling fan, can be the booker, you get to pick the matches, who faces who, decide the outcome. It's a nice, very cool concept of custom wrestling, especially for women wrestling. So go to slammingladies.com and book Diane in a match against any of the following ladies that's going to be in there. Should be a jam-packed week leading up to Thanksgiving.
Like I said before that, the 19th at the Charlestown Civic Center, Bobo Brazil Jr. is running a show. Bull Payne's going to be there. And as I said, it's my first time in the ring against Maria Mendoza. That will be the 19th, a week from Saturday.
Perfect. Everybody go check that out if you're in that area. Again, we are joined with wrestling legend Diane Von Hoffman here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. You've been in the business for a very long time. You've seen a lot of talent come and go. What's your thoughts about the state of wrestling, what it was when you first started, and compare it to what it's like right now? What's your take about wrestling from then to now?
From then, there was a level of respect. When a veteran walked into a dressing room, you get up, you give them your chair, you get them coffee, you gave them that respect. They opened doors. Although not all of us were, quote, superstars, as now they're called, quote, divas, which I never understood that term. I always wanted to be a female wrestler. A diva is not a wrestler. I don't know where that term came. They said Wendy Richter was the first, quote, diva. I don't know if that means a female that looks great in a two-piece, and I don't understand that, but we all wanted to be female wrestlers. We trained hard, we worked hard, and now today I actually had stopped for a while, and I went on the road with Tracy Smothers 3 years ago, 2008, and I was just in awe. There were more people in the back than there were in the seats. Now, and unfortunately in the state of Kentucky, anyone can be licensed. All you have to do is send in an application. So that's, I don't even read these boards anymore because they're so degrading. But when someone says, hey, I got a wrestling license and I've never been in the ring. Also, when I left Louisville, OVW was not the developmental, and there was myself and Candy Devine. Between the women wrestlers, there was maybe 100, 150 mile radius that we could actually get girls from. And of course, now you see there's a whole lot more talent. And as far as with the women, I feel that if you watch TNA and even what they're trying to rebuild in WWE, that the women have the most emotion. They get the biggest pop. They give 110%. Where with the men, of course, it's all about ego. To be a wrestler, you have to be a narcissist. Unfortunately, I've not. I've always been the one that they've beat down because I've been the bigger girl and I wasn't the bikini fit. But I've had a lot of my fans that recognize that they like what I look like. They like that I am a bigger lady and that I do look like what a wrestler represents, a true wrestler. I'm not talking about a Barbie. I'm not talking about a diva, Playboy model, Maxim model, whatever. I'm just talking about a brawler, a wrestler. And I know even Moolah was hard on us about training. She was the one, some of the bookers would not book the girls if they weren't a certain size, shape. So it messes with your mind. And, just watching it today, everybody that is a promoter should be buying a seat, a ticket. They should not be running a promotion. That's why they talk about they put butts in the seats. How can you put butts in the seats when everywhere around you there's 15 different guys, wannabes, that are running a promotion that don't need to be? They need to actually train, learn the art. It takes more than 3 matches. They say, I've been in the business 3 years. Does that mean how many matches you've had in your career? So it really, really upsets me. There's no respect for the veterans at all. They look at us like we're too old to be in the ring. Well, as you can see, I've shown a lot of these younger girls, which they actually have the utmost respect for me, that even though I'm older, I can still get down when need be. So that's the change that I see, and it just really saddens me. So that's one reason I'm getting out, is because it's just not. It's not what I grew up watching, and it's not. My heart's just not in it anymore. Except, like I said, with customs with Flamin' Ladies, they treat you with the utmost respect. They pamper us. It's just the best custom promotion in the world.
All right. Got 2 questions in the chat room.